Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Tinker Tribe podcast. I'm your host, Greg Dowd. Welcome to the show tonight. And I took last week off because I went to go to a local firearms training class. So that's where I was last week, checking it out. A friend invited me to go out there. One of my buddies that I've done some firearms training with invited me to go check this one out, and it was a really good class. I realized pretty much every time I go do one of these training classes is like how much I don't know, and I don't, you know, you got to get training. You got to. It's very necessary. It's very important to receive some training. And just going to the shooting range with your buddies is really not going to cut it, I don't think, in your overall use of the firearm. So it really helps to go and get some training from people that are really skilled and knowledgeable in that area, and got to learn a lot about more fundamentals of shooting kind of stuff in the one that I went to, and it gets more advanced. I think the some of the other classes like kind of rotates from the beginning of the month, kind of fundamentals, and then gets more advanced uh, throughout the month, I believe. And so just fundamentals of being able to like draw from your holster and fire, and acquire the target, and then be accurate with your shots, and then be able to uh fire at an appropriate rate and rhythm, and hit that trigger release so that your follow-up shots, you're not pulling down on that trigger, so you're just reaching the point where the trigger breaks, and then you're ready to fire again, so that you're not having to pull up all that extra tension that's on the trigger to be ready for your next shot. So that was all really good stuff. I had, I guess, trained in a little bit of that and understood a little bit of that from taking a rifle course up at Tactical Response in Camden, Tennessee, on uh, on that trigger release kind of technique to help you with your shooting. And so I wasn't totally lost, but I pretty much came into that little class as a complete novice. And the instructor was really good. His name is Mike, and gauged my skill level and gave me a lot of good pointers on how to improve from where I was at. And the other guys in the class are super cool. And so I might be doing that on more of a regular basis now. So thinking about signing up to do his class like on a monthly basis, and get more training in that area. And so I may reschedule at the time that I do my streams because of that. And so I'm thinking about maybe Thursday nights, because I do the gym on Friday right now, and then I have recurring meetings on Wednesdays of the month uh, for our Freedom Cell group. So to stay consistent with the live streaming, might be changing the day that I stream. So might change that up to do like a Thursday night stream, something like that. So that's what I was doing last week. That's why I wasn't here. But really good class. I thought it was really good instruction and a lot of areas that I'm weak in and gear that I probably need to get so that I can have, stuff to be able to train better with. And um I think it's important because like I mean even the style of firearm that you're using, you need to be familiar with that, whatever you're going to be carrying on a regular basis. Like you need to get really familiar with that. And everything operates a little bit differently with the trigger and everything. So that's what I have been doing is just going and shooting with friends out at our buddy's place and going out there and shooting, but not really like focusing on like fundamental skills. Really, just more about getting out there and just having fun shooting. So so I think like focusing on the practical parts and getting more proficient with the firearm is a good thing to do and stay in practice with and continuously keep training with. So in the event that you need to defend yourself or some other people that you're not going to be frozen. So like fight, flight, or freeze. And from personally getting held up a couple times, like you need to be ready for um you need to have that kind of training in your back pocket so that you're not like freaking out really, and that you kind of are ready to step in if you have to. And so a lot of the guys talk about like that do train in firearms. They talk about like you want to make sure that it doesn't get escalated to that. So you want to see the best way to get out of a situation without having to resort to that, but you need to be prepared. So yeah, really great training. All in all, had a good time. Um, and just generally, recently been pretty wiped out. So as you guys know, if you've been following along with the podcast and the channel, that I have been working with my buddy Logan on developing my land that I have and turning it into like a hip camp property. We well, for a life event, I've recently had my grandfather pass away. Had a really great life, a legendary guy. Lived to 101. Just had some kidney failure and passed away in his sleep recently. And so I will be traveling with my family to go to his funeral. And so Logan and I were talking and decided that we would take a pause on working out there on the property for a couple of weeks, so that we can kind of get refreshed and get back after it. And so taking a couple of weeks off of that. I have a video that I will be getting uploaded on our most recent progress and posting on the channel. If you've been following along on my fitness journey on my other channel, the Take the Ride 23 on YouTube, that I have been posting some sections of the stuff that we've been doing on there, and I guess keeping everybody updated on the progress with all that. And so I actually can bring up one of the more recent videos of us working out there. I'll see if I can pull that up real quick for you guys. But yeah, we've pretty much got to the point where we are building the platform structure for the cabin, and been talking about how we're going to um or what the final construction is going to look like. I've got to get some windows, which I'm going to pick up from one of my other buddies. I've got to message him about that, and um, we've got get the walls all constructed, and it's going to be a 12 by 16 cabin with a lean-to roof and a porch area. So it'll be a covered porch area, like a 4-foot little deck on the cabin, so that you can hang out there and drink your coffee, tea, see the wildlife. Little hangout area that's going to be outside. So it's going to be pretty cool. And let me see if I can show you guys where we got to a couple weeks ago. I think, not sure, probably haven't shown this because it's been a little uh it's been a little while since I kept you guys updated on everything that's going on with the property. So let me see if I can pull this up real quick and show you a little video from doing all that. And this is us. This is us working on the deck platform. So we got these concrete piers poured and worked on getting these 6x6s. We cut notches on the ends of the 6x6s so that we can place some 2x10s on, and then the 2x10s in the 6x6s, 6x6 posts, will be the support structure for the deck of the cabin. So those are sitting on those concrete piers with a bracket to hold those 6x6s in. And then those 2x10s are timber lock screwed into the 6x6s that had the notch cut in them. So they're sitting on that notch of the 6x6s. Or sorry, yeah, the 2x10s are sitting on those notches of the 6x6s. So yeah, here we're leveling out those beams, making sure that they're going to sit level, and got them screwed into the 6x6s there. And that's pretty much where we got by the end of the day that day. And so we're ready to build the deck frame now. So everything's been going well with all that, and we're just we've taken a couple weekends off of work there so that after I get back, we'll be able to get back after it. So what else has been going on, guys? I've got the aquaponics system that I built a couple of years ago, I guess, and kind of finished up last year, and had it running at the makerspace up there in Huntsville. That I will be getting that and moving that over to my parents' house so that I can continue working on it. And it's just been a project that I had to take down during the winter time. I didn't have a good solution on keeping it going throughout the winter time. Hey, John, what's up, man? Soul Survivor, what's up? Thanks for hanging in with me, man. So yeah, it's been a project that I haven't really got to there in a little while. And so I am bringing it back over here so I can work on it some more. So this Wednesday we've got our local meetup going on because we pushed that back to this week, and gonna see what I can get from there without having my truck and trailer. But I'll be going to one of our. I'll be going with my buddy to a shooting range tomorrow. I'm taking the day off to go do some more shooting stuff. And after I get back from that, I'm going to be heading out to our local meeting so that we can have our get together for that and meet up with all the folks in our local Freedom Cell group. So I'm going to try to grab more of that aquaponics system while I'm there, see if I can get some of the gravel out of the media bed and prepare for when I do get my trailer and when I come back from my grandpa's funeral. That I'll be able to get the rest of that system so I can get it set up over here and keep working on that thing, because I think it's a good idea. Like, Soul Survivor here, and we've talked about this at our meetings. Like, aquaponics is more complicated. It does require that you have like the electricity to run the pumps and everything. It's there's a lot more that you have to take care for and watch out for, rather than like building up your soil and everything. But I do think it does complement like the soil gardening, and it can be when you have the system going and you're pulling off the solids, and then you can use those as fertilizers. And talking to like Nick Ferguson at the last Self-Reliance Festival, he was talking about ways that you could incorporate fodder trees in for feed, depending on the type of fish you're using. So if you're using like an omnivorous fish, or fish that can eat plant material, like tilapia, you can feed them partially on the fodder tree leaves. So yeah. Yeah, exactly. We've talked about that. It's it's fragile because of the need for the electricity to run the pumps, and you got to run air stones and all that for the fish and everything. But yeah, while resources are available, uh keep experimenting with it. I think I'm not giving up on it. um maybe just having a pond is beneficial for like having some kind of aquaculture in a way, like being able to have that, because I know it does bring in a lot of biology. Just having that system we had running over here a couple of years ago, it was really like kind of hacked together. But just watch that thing and you notice all the biology that comes in around where when you have like a pond or some kind of water system with the fish and everything. So yeah, I want to experiment more with it and maybe raise a different kind of fish, maybe a hardier fish. Thinking about maybe some koi, like seeing if I could raise some koi up for like selling them as like ornamental fish to help fund this crazy aquaponics habit I have, hobby, I guess. So, yeah, I'll be doing that and picking that thing up. And yeah, this week I've been listening to Um, been listening to some different folks. Water is a life magnet for sure. Yeah, where there's water, there is life and biological life, and it springs up all around all the water sources. So yeah, I guess this week just kind of having some thoughts recently, like um just about staying staying on the path. I've been about where I am in life right now, listening to some guys talking about self-improvement type things, listening to one of these things by Sam Hyde. He's a comedian, and he was like blacklisted there for a while and pretty much kicked off of anywhere you could, any of the like the main platforms. Like he had a show on Comedy Central called World Peace, and they blacklisted him for one of his skits that he did on there. And this guy, I guess his name is Tim Heidecker. He's one of the guys that had a big show there on Comedy Central as well. Kind of got him blacklisted because of these. I think he did a sketch called Jews Rock or something like that on World Peace, and they pretty much got him removed from there. But he kept building an audience and like didn't stop and just kept going. And I was listening to him in one of his talks, and he was talking about how you gotta you gotta keep improving yourself, and don't basically be the strongest person that you can be, and that really affects the other lives that are around you. You're kind of like a positivity. You're like a positive force of good for the world, and it actually creates order out of the chaotic world that we live in, I guess, is one of the things that he was talking about. And been really thinking on that recently, as probably a lot of us in life can like kind of maybe second guess the things that we're doing, and maybe the path that we're on, and thinking that if our efforts are truly going in in the most positive direct, or like the most beneficial direction, I would say. And I think one man can do quite a bit to change the world, really. Like um I was listening to another podcast. It's on the same topic with uh Joel Salatin today. And just if you're growing food, you're doing homesteading, probably heard of Joel Salatin, and maybe even read some of his books. He's written several books. Um, I think I have a couple. I have like Everything I Want to Do is Illegal, and How You Can Farm. And I think I bought one at the recent Self Reliance Festival. I think he wrote a new one called Homestead Tsunami. But in any case, Joel has been really influential to a lot of folks that are, wanting to, seeing the way the world is going and looking at a different way to do things, and wanting to, be a part of the solution for creating a better future. And the way that they're raising food on their farm there in Polyface is using nature in a synergistic way, instead of like a mechanistic type way that has been developed through industrial chemical agriculture. And really showing that solution is creating a lot of abundance on the land and helping to regenerate land and everything. So I was listening to him today and talk on a podcast, and just talking about uh, how influential he has been, because the folks interviewing him were, heavily influenced, and said but that they were talking to another couple about Joel in like northern Idaho, and they were just like getting on the Joel rabbit hole of talking and sharing ideas that Joel has talked about, and the things that they have implemented on their farm, and how much they're influencing other people around the world now. Like all over the world, Joel has really influenced people by what him and his family have done. And his father was talking heavily about his father having kind of a generational outlook on getting on a farm, and doing these alternative agricultural practices. And um I think he was saying that something about like Rodale's organic gardening was one of the things that his father was influenced by. And you know they were really, like, his dad was really way ahead of his time. And now he was saying that, how things kind of can swing in one extreme and then they'll come back the other direction. And I think he's one of those guys where, he's been evangelizing the food movement for many, many years. And it wasn't until all the events happened in 2020 where people saw, during the lockdowns and everything, where people were panic buying, and a lot of the grocery stores shelves were empty of a lot of things. And so it really displayed to people how fragile the just in time, or our logistics, and um, that just in time delivery kind of model for the supermarkets is that, hey man, you might want to think about your food security, because all that this system is pretty delicate, actually, when you look at all these supply chains and everything. So I thought that was a really, really good podcast, and demonstrating how one person can really make a difference. So if you're if you're out there and you're getting into kind of a, that negative state of mind, and thinking that, what am I doing that's you know lacking of a purpose, or um your efforts, that you just stay on the grind, and you focus on that thing that is right, and that you're moving and continue to improve every day and learn new skills. um the skills of being able to get creative and do more with less was one of the things that they were talking about in that podcast. Was, use it up, wear it out, make do or do without, that saying. And I think that's like the attitude, man, for being able to not get through, not only just get through hard times, but be able to thrive still. A lot of what I a common theme, I guess, of what I've been talking about here lately on these live streams has been on doing the hard things, doing the things that are hard now, so when if times do get difficult, that you're inoculated to it. So I really do think that it's important to keep working towards your own self-reliance, your own self-sufficiency, and finding the community that of people that you can work with that that can help you with that. And Soul Survivor here is one of those folks that he has is a really great part of our community and our group, and he's doing the regenerative beef there, and love supporting him. And he's got some of the most amazing beef that I've ever had, and so yeah, I think it's really important on figuring out how you can find those local food sources and growing a portion of your own food as well, and creating those networks and getting them going. Like you got to get them going now, like um as things are. We've got multiple wars going on around the globe, major wars, and more escalation for the continuation of those things. And you know those things tend to bring on a lot of other negative a lot of negative side effects. And so I think a lot of people may be lulled into a false sense of security because it looks like the system is running okay. You got all your subscriptions, and you can go to your events and your concerts, and all that stuff's going on, and it seems like things are doing all right now. But all these tensions and all these things happening right now that you know they all add up. And so I think it's important to stay focused on that stuff and continue to improve yourself. Like, I feel like that's pretty much step number one is the self improvement, and anything that you can do in that realm is really important. So work on those skills and things that you can get so that you can be of a value to other people in your community. And that was another key takeaway that I got from listening to that podcast. Let me see if I can actually pull that up for you guys in just a second and share the link for that with you, because I thought that was a really good talk. So let me see if I can. It's on a channel called New World Old Soul. Let me see if I can bring it up here. New World Old Soul. So yeah, let me here for you guys, and I'll just bring this up and present this so that you can check it out. Let's see your screen, share. So yeah, this was the interview that I watched earlier today, which if you want to go check it out, it's well worth a listen. But I guess where was I getting with that? I think that yeah, he's talking about how a lot of these systems and our comforts and things are kind of detaching us from reality, and all of our entertainment and our technology has kind of detached us from living um living in the real world, and how in the natural world, in the natural environment, and how it's really a more fulfilling existence where you can find true purpose and meaning in that work, and being able to, grow your own food, and spend time in your kitchen, preparing the food and getting the highest possible quality food that you can. And he gave like basically three. He talked about a lot of different things, but the things that one of the big takeaways that I got from him in that in this episode is that he was saying a lot of things about like not conforming to the other people around you. Like, you're doing what you're doing because it's the right thing, and that may mean that you need to, not have all this stuff that everybody else has. Like, you might have to drive a beater car for a while, and while you're building up savings and being able to go do the dream that you have of getting out on some land, and you know doing the farming, homesteading kind of thing, and raising your family that way outside of the systems that are currently in place. Homeschooling your kids, and getting outside and detached from that system that's going on right now. And they brought up like, well, it's very difficult to be able to buy all this high quality food, and do all this stuff, but really it's about what you value. Like, do you value that, and staying away from the medical system, and maintaining a high quality of health? Or do you just want to, do you have that Netflix subscription? Are you going out to eat all the time? Are you spending that money on cruises and vacations and stuff? Um, and if you really looked at all those things that you're spending money on, that are, that they could get you in a better state if you gave those things up, and you could be able to, be able to have that higher quality products, and be able to afford it. And it comes with making some sacrifices on your lifestyle. So, you know, um, I feel like that's it's kind of a get. I guess you get what you deserve kind of thing. Like, so if you want to basically want to change all this stuff in the system, and um, you have all these gripes about how bad things are, but you're not willing to take any of the actions or make any of the sacrifices to go in a different direction, then I guess you get what you deserve. Um, so the companies will keep creating all this stuff with all the bad ingredients, and all the processing, and all that stuff, and then you just you get more of what you support, basically. So if you're supporting all that stuff that you don't agree with, then unfortunately you just get more of it. So um so yeah, I guess in conclusion tonight, I know I kind of sound like a broken record, but I really feel like the self improvement and working on things one day at a time is very important. And probably the most important thing you can do right now is to team up with other like-minded people, and get a community of just folks that just start meeting people, and meeting some local farmers. If you've got, only the supermarkets around you, and you're just buying all your groceries from the supermarkets, there's, other options. Like, as long as the delivery trucks run, it was one thing that you could seek out farmers that are actually growing better quality foods for yourself and your family, so that you don't have to be, eating all these processed foods and, getting unhealthy and putting yourself in a worse situation down the line, health wise. Um, or, just keep eating all the processed stuff, and going down that path. But, don't expect anything to really change um as a whole. So yeah, that's in conclusion. The work comes with the work on the self, and getting yourself in the best physical, mental, emotional state. And that comes with doing some hard things now, that you can be prepared for when times get harder. So, um, yeah, that's that's what I'm gonna leave you guys with tonight. I didn't write myself out very many notes. I just wanted to jump on here and do a stream and kind of catch you guys up on what's been going on. And we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next week. Stay on the grind. Peace.